whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, well, I don't wanna jinx it, baby, and twist myself at the spine. Don't wanna overthink it, baby. It's just twist your body and mine. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, but I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Let's not get ahead of my time. Oh, but I don't wanna miss you, baby. So I stand up and speak my mind. Oh. You're channeling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're channeling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, oh,
Yeah. Stand by for a transmission from DX Central. This broadcast is not a test. To confirm reception, please tune your radio to any AM or FM frequency and report your observations during this transmission. Again, this is not a test. Stand by for a transmission from DX Central. This broadcast is not a test. To confirm reception, please tune your radio to any AM or FM frequency and report your observations during this transmission. Again, this is not a test.
DX Central Live is brought to you in part by...
Since 1933, the National Radio Club has been serving AMDXers while providing some of the most in-depth information in the hobby. From the annual NRC AM log, a must-have reference for domestic station information, to antenna design reference manuals, and of course, the DX News Member Bulletin, which is filled with station information updates, domestic and international loggings, and a whole lot more. Become a member today. For more information, log on to nationalradioclub.org. That's nationalradioclub.org. While the HF bands can be filled with entertaining and intriguing transmissions, how do you know when and where to look? Let Teague Publishing's Global Radio Guide lead the way. In addition to its exhaustive list of time and frequency for international broadcasters, radio hobby icon Gail Van Horn brings you equipment reviews, an SDR buyer's guide, feature articles, and more. Pick up your copy today. Visit teaguepublishing.com for more information. That's teaguepublishing.com. From the pages of its DX Monitor Member Bulletin, members of the International Radio Club of America share their domestic and international AMDX loggings. In its Mexican log, a wealth of information can be found of stations from south of the border. Technical guides, sunrise, sunset maps, and more make the IRCA a must-join for any AMDXer. For more information, log on to ircaonline.org. That's ircaonline.org.
Through crashes of static in quiet hours, we listen. In languages we can scarcely understand, and of places we have only visited in our dreams, we listen. Incessantly, we perfect our array of aerials, receivers, and resources. We refine our skills and our techniques so that we might listen. We are DX Central, and we're all about radio. Visit us at dxcentralonline.com or check us out on YouTube. Search DX Central.
Keep up with DX Central. Follow us on Twitter at DX Central.
The Gulf South
to your corner of the world.
This is DX Central Live.
Now here's your host, Lloyd Van Horn.
It's DX Central Live from the North Shore Studios in Mandeville, Louisiana. Good evening, my friends, and welcome to the show. Glad to have you here on a beautiful Friday night. Hopefully it's at least not like bone-chilling cold where you are. I mean, it's a little chilly here, but I mean, for us it's like 50 degrees, so whatever. It's each of their own, right? It's all a matter of what we're used to. And down here, 50 degrees, that's too cold. So hopefully you're having a great evening and have some great DX this week. I'll be honest, I haven't done a lick, not one minute of DX this week. It's been sad. Day job, commitments, storms, everything else have kept me away from the radio. But we're going to change that. We're going to change that tonight and this week. So, we'll talk about that here in a bit. I was just making sure that nobody was over here yelling at me in the chat going, "We can't hear you!" So good to know that we're getting through at least, because you guys are over here in the chat already talking. We've got a great show for you tonight. We've got to finish up our week 15 of the Medium Wave Frequency Challenge, in which we have been sitting between basically 1089, 1143, so 1090, 1100, 1110, 1120, 1130, 1140, and everything in between. I've seen some good logs this week. I saw Barry got our our Puerto Rican on 1120 under KMOX. So I haven't seen anybody mention Peru, but then again, I haven't seen even a hint of their signal on my SDR when I've looked recently. Again, I haven't done EDX this week, unfortunately. I did a little bit last weekend, but the nothing new. All just relog stuff for the challenge. So there we go. But nobody that I've seen has seen Peru. So we'll see if we can hear him tonight. We'll give him one more shot, and then we'll be announcing our new challenge for week 16. We have a special announcement coming up a little bit after the top of the hour. We're actually going to announce our frequencies of the week a little early this week because I want to give us a little more time in here on these. So be ready for that here after the top of this hour. We'll do our results from week 13 when we were DXing 630 to 660, and then we'll announce our new frequencies of the week. We'll have our DXC tweet of the week, and obviously lots of great DX. We're going to really try to get as much DX in here tonight as we possibly can. Because I feel like the last couple weeks we've been doing a lot of like tips and tricks, which is cool, and I want to continue to do that. But I also want to have some weeks where we just kind of DX. We just talk about radio and do it together. I do want to talk about one topic which we'll discuss after our announcement here at the top of the hour. We'll give a little bit of an insight into, but really it's going to be mostly just a DX night for us, and I feel like that's something that we should do more often. So we'll do that. Of course, we have shout outs. So if you have new stations that you've heard this week, new logs, new states, new countries, you know how we like to give the shout outs here. So make sure you hold on to those and get those ready, because we'll be looking for them in the chat here in a bit. Don't send them over just yet. I'll get the book out here in a moment. We'll, after the top of the hour, we'll start looking at getting some shout outs in here. And would love to hear what you guys have been hearing this week. But, you know, in addition to the stuff from the challenge, if you've been hearing some cool stuff, if the conditions have treated you well. I haven't noticed a lot of talk about Latin DX this week. Not like a great Latin night, which is kind of disappointing because that's what I was hoping for when we did this 1090 to 1140 range that we've done here. I was hoping for some Latin nights to give some folks some opportunities to hear Peru and some of the others that were down there. But can't control the sun, or can we? Maybe that's a government plot. Maybe they're controlling the sun. I better not say that. YouTube will flag us for misinformation. Anywho, let's take a tour around the shack as we like to do. We're going to start off our first hour of Live DX here, brought to you by the National Radio Club. NationalRadioClub.org is where you want to go for more information about becoming a member. Please do. I'd love to see you all in the pages of the DX News. Our tour around the shack, we've got our usual assortment of goodies here from an SDR perspective. We have our Perseus SDR with our Jaguar software. We're running 2 CAS antennas, one front yard, 20, that's about 20 by 62 foot north-south, which is right now pointing south. We have a 22 by 70 northeast-southwest, northwest-southeast, which is right now pointing southeast. And we also have... actually, it's this one right now. We have our AirSpy HF Plus Discovery with a 22 by 70 northeast southwest CAS, which is right now pointing southwest. First time I've had it in the southwest configuration in months. But I took the opportunity, since I had to take everything and unplug it all from storms this last week. Decided, let's just go ahead and change orientation. So we're going to see if we can hear anything down towards Mexico, Texas, southwest part of the United States. On that CAS, all 3 of the CASs are vactrol controlled.
It's time for the DX Central.
With Colin Newell, it's not time for that. Stop. With Colin Newell vactrols, so we can try to maximize our null depth on the backside for directionality. And in addition to those, we also have our RSP-DX, and that is sitting with a two twin W6 LVP loops on opposite ends of the house, running through an MFJ-1026 Phaser, so we can do a little phasing to try to either reduce noise or get rid of noise or get rid of pesky stations that we don't like local stations, which we're probably going to be using this week. Wink, 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 hint, hint. All right, let's start with our Perseus, as we like to do, because that sucker is always recording at the top of the hour. So we'll take, I think I say that. Did I turn it off this week with the storms? I may have. Oh, nope, it's on. So yeah, we're gonna record the top of the hour here, and we're gonna go back through and look at our frequencies of the week, see what was there at the top of the hour on each frequency, and hopefully maybe get something cool in here. Let's start down the bottom of the range at 1090 kilohertz, and let's just, for the fun of it, look at our spectrum. I don't see. We are pointing south. I don't see any hint of Peru in here. I'm just adjusting my vactrol to make sure I get a good sweep here to see if we get another null. No. Well, let's see if we can hear anything besides KAAY starting right now. No, that's them. So we've got KAY here. There is a station, it sounds like a Spanish station underneath there. I saw, by the way, let me pause this for a second here before we get to our top of the hour. I saw, I think it was Greg, wasn't it? Greg Harris got WBAL 1090 this week for the first time ever. Been trying, he said, for 53 years and finally heard him. Awesome. That's what we're looking for here, is people to get stuff they've always wanted and maybe just hadn't had a chance to spend enough time on one frequency for a while to get it. Well, there you go, Greg. Congratulations, man. It's time for top of the hour alert. You know what that means. We're going red, and we're going to look for something besides KAAY as we sip on our NOLA Brewing Company Irish Channel Stout. Local brewery here in the area. You guys know I like my stout beers, so we're going to sip on some Irish Channel Stout. Can't believe St. Patrick's Day is not that far away. Yeah, Justin, that 81 watts is well looked forward to here. Any day, I would love to see it. Because, damn. Watch him come back and be like, ah.
del tramo de la calle Quejita a Puerto del Tramo, con inversión de casi 13 millones de pesos.
La arborización de la recta Cholula en el tramo de la calle Tezitlán, es decir, hasta la Paz y hasta el puente del Paz, que todos ustedes conocen, tiene inversión de 12 millones de pesos. ¿Qué se va a realizar en esta avenida y a su alrededor? Es un programa también de paisajismo. Ustedes podrán observar que estamos en pleno camión y hay absolutamente huecos. Cuidado. Más al fondo podrán observar que utilizan ya de estacionamiento algunas rutas, algunos negocios, que podemos observar el camellón y también tenemos áreas absolutamente muertas, descuidadas. Por lo tanto,
all right, I was trying to hold out there and see if we might have had any shot at an ID at that station. I'm pretty sure that's Mexico. More than likely XEAU. Is who that is, but it could be XEHR possibly. More than likely though, it's AU. Heard them here before. Could also be Cuba. We've heard Radio Victoria here before, but didn't sound like a Cuban station as far as their on-air persona. So doubt that was them. Let's roll up. Yeah, Barry, I see him. Let me go back to the spectrum here. I see them very lightly here, but I'm pointing southeast right now. So I would imagine. Let me throw off my vactrol here to see if I can start pointing towards the north and see if it gets any louder here. Off to the side. Does not appear to be. Let me try it on the... Oh, there they were for a second. Yeah, if I throw it open, it comes in a little bit better. Facing north. But again, that's not even... If it is WKTE in King, North Carolina, which that sounds familiar, if I remember correctly, to an offset that I remember seeing them at when I was in Charleston. Then if that is them, then it would make sense that I'm not getting them super strong on my south wires. But there they are right there. It's a little bit stronger now. Let me see if I can isolate this just enough to pull anything out. We're on upper sideband, which is good.
Dental Lifeline Network. DLN is a non-profit that has helped to literally change the lives of people in my community through the donated dental services program. DLN asked us to volunteer as one of the many patients who is here.
Yeah, I'm not hearing any audio out of it. Not hearing any audio there. We'll stop back by here again on it to see. Let's go to 1100 and see if it was anybody here besides TAM. That's got to be TAM, right? Yep. Let's see. It sounded like we had a strong one here on 1110. Let's see who that might be.
En esta ocasión, en ausencia de Carlos Castellanos. Le invito a que se quede ahora con toda la programación en nuestro canal de YouTube. Buen fin de semana y buen regreso a casa, señor Camilo.
Oh my. Okay, I'm pretty sure that is XERED. We're about to find out here in a second. But I'm going to rewind it for a second because I actually heard an ID from WBT Charlotte in there as well. See if you can catch it. It's really weak underneath them.
Suplente narra la violencia cotidiana en ciertos lugares y los intentos de construcción colectiva, disputa política, arrebatos de solidaridad y destrucción social. Para la octava, Edgar Estrada.
Muchas gracias, Edgar Estrada. Y con esto nos despedimos a nombre de todo este equipo que hace posible la Octava Noticias. Le agradezco mucho su sintonía. Yo soy Elad y le acompañé en esta ocasión en ausencia de Carlos Castellanos. Le invito a que se quede ahora con toda la programación en nuestro canal de YouTube. Buen fin de semana y buen regreso a casa si va en camino.
Right there, did you hear it?
A que se quede ahora con toda la programación en nuestro canal de YouTube. Buen fin de semana y buen regreso a casa si va en camino.
There it is. Yeah. So that was the BT under there. Let's see if we get an ID here out of what I believe is probably Mexico.
Con lo mejor de los 80, aquí en el 88.1.
80, yeah. All right, I don't want to get a copyright strike here. So that was 1110 XERED there in Mexico City. They use the Octava 80. They talk about that sometimes in there. So that was them. Let's go now to 1120. I want to say this is probably XERUI Radio Universidad, is my guess.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by St. Louis University. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the express written consent of the university and Learfield. Announcers are provided by Learfield and approved by the university.
So there's KMOX coming back in now on that top of the hour sequence. And I'm pretty sure that orchestral music we were hearing there was probably the university station down here in Merida. Let's go to 1130. Yeah, something's in there. Bet you that's Gainesville. You have a commercial in English, and then they start going back into Spanish. That's got to be LBA, Gainesville. If Alan's in there in the chat, probably hearing this one pretty loud, right? Over there in Cleveland, Georgia. There's also KWKH in there with the sports. It's just kind of a mess in there. And then when we're pointing south, when we point north, any direction north, it's just Shreveport all day on 1130. It's all KMOX on 1120. It's a mess on some of these when you're not pointing south. It's a mess when you're pointing south, but it's very much one or two stations when you're pointing north. Let's go look at 1140 and see if it's anything other than Cuba.
Musicalmente de nuestros oyentes con la unión de Romeo Santos y Justin Timberlake en el tema Sin Fin.
I'm guessing we have 1140 here XEMR. Radio Esperanza. If it's not Rebellion.
Musicalmente de nuestros oyentes con la unión de Romeo Santos y Justin Timberlake en el tema Sin Fin.
Okay, so there's a male voice in there underneath her. That's Rebeldy, which tells me the female voice with the music is probably Mexico, because they are 50K, so that would be my guess as far as who that is. So, usual players there on the frequency challenge range for this week, and you see why I didn't have time for DX. When I did, it was just one of the same stuff coming in this week, so it haven't been great conditions, anything exotic or anything like that. But for this coming week, I think we got a shot at doing something pretty cool. So let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to do our results from week 14 of the medium wave frequency challenge at 630 to 660. Then we're going to do a special announcement, and we're going to go ahead and start doing our new week, our new challenge for the week. We're going to go ahead and dive into that early tonight. So don't go anywhere. More DX Central Live is heading your way right after this.
DX Central, because we're all about radio. Visit us at dxcentralonline.com or check us out on YouTube. Search DX Central. DX Central Live is brought to you in part by...
Since 1933, the National Radio Club has been serving AMDXers while providing some of the most in-depth information in the hobby. From the annual NRC AM log, a must-have reference for domestic station information, to antenna design reference manuals, and of course, the DX News Member Bulletin, which is filled with station information updates, domestic and international loggings, and a whole lot more. Become a member today. For more information, log on to nationalradioclub.org. That's nationalradioclub.org. While the HF bands can be filled with entertaining and intriguing transmissions, how do you know when and where to look? Let Teague Publishing's Global Radio Guide lead the way. In addition to its exhaustive list of time and frequency for international broadcasters, radio hobby icon Gail Van Horn brings you equipment reviews, an SDR buyer's guide, feature articles, and more. Pick up your copy today. Visit teaguepublishing.com for more information. That's teaguepublishing.com. From the pages of its DX Monitor Member Bulletin, members of the International Radio Club of America share their domestic and international AMDX loggings. In its Mexican log, a wealth of information can be found of stations from south of the border. Technical guides, sunrise, sunset maps, and more make the IRCA a must-join for any AMDXer. For more information, log on to ircaonline.org. That's ircaonline.org.
Through crashes of static in quiet hours, we listen. In languages we can scarcely understand, and of places we have only visited in our dreams, we listen. Incessantly, we perfect our array of aerials, receivers, and resources. We refine our skills and our techniques so that we might listen. We are DX Central, and we're all about radio. Visit us at dxcentralonline.com or check us out on YouTube. Search DX Central.
Keep up with DX Central. Follow us on Twitter at DX Central.
From the DX Central North Shore Studios, this is DXC Live. Now here's your host, Lloyd Van Horn.
It's DX Central Live from the North Shore Studios here in Mandeville, Louisiana, every Friday night at 6:45 Central Time. That's just after midnight, 12:45 UTC. So we are here bringing you live AMDX, sometimes FM, if we are able to make that work. We do talk FM here at least. Speaking of, I haven't had a chance to put the antenna up, the new one that Les sent down, the Stereo Probe 9. I still have to get a mast and a rotor and all the work that I need to do for it, and the cable and everything else, but that's on the list. So get that ready for Tropo season, which is unbelievably just around the corner, and then it's just a hop, skip, and a jump to E-skip season. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump into our results video from week 14. Here in a few moments, I'll have the blog post up on the website announcing our new frequencies of the week with the Google form and everything else. So be ready for that. And let's go ahead and jump into our results. So we'll have the link up there that has the results video. It has the link to the page with all the analysis and everything. And then right after the results video here plays, you'll have a special announcement from us here at DX Central. So there you go, my friends. It's the graveyard edition of the medium wave frequency challenge. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while, where we just spend multiple weeks just parked on a graveyard frequency, or in this case frequencies, and just go to town. I'm next year I want to do this again and probably do it around Halloween, you know, theme spooky. Ooh. But this year I was like, man, I said, you know, we got a parade here locally in Mandeville, here at on the 10th that we're going to be going to. So I didn't want to be like canceling some weeks and some weeks in, and some weeks maybe being late or things like that. So we're just gonna bypass all that. We're gonna take the next 3 weeks off so that we can focus on doing the Mardi Gras thing, and I want you guys to be able to focus on these graveyarders. I think Rick mentioned in the chat, this is approaching the best times of the year for Sunrise DX. He's right. February is just a phenomenal Sunrise DX month. So are March and April, but February is really, really, really great. So you're going to hear things in the month of February at Sunrise that you don't hear any other time of the year, including on these graveyard frequencies. Same thing with Sunset. You're going to hear things on these graveyard frequencies at Sunset that you don't hear any other time of the year. What I've found typically is that summertime graveyard frequencies, the stations tend to be a little bit closer to home. Probably from the delayer absorption and how that all kind of goes. Skywave doesn't really have a chance to really break down, you know, or build up. The Skywave doesn't build up that much. The delayer doesn't really break down all that much. So you get more like not necessarily ground wave, but shorter skip in the summer months on graveyarders. Wintertime it's a little bit longer, 700, 800, 900 miles. That's just been what I've seen typically. I don't know if I'm right scientifically or not, but that's what I've seen. So this is kind of our last real big push of the season before we start heading into noisier conditions in the springtime with storms and everything else. So every single graveyard frequency, 1230, 1240, 1230, 1240, 1340, 1400, 1450, 1490. That's where we're DXing this week. And again, whoever has the most graveyard logs, you get a Grave Digger Champion t-shirt from our new online store, which we'll be showing you guys here in a few moments. So the blog post is now up. So go to the website, that's dxcentralonline.com, and you'll find the links in there for the Google form, as well as the video that we just watched, and the video from the results video, and our, or the link that has the results video and all the analysis and everything from week 14. So that is all up now on the website. Again, that's dxcentralonline.com. So hopefully you guys are excited. I saw some folks saying, yeah, graveyarders. And it's you know, it's always hard because I know there are always, no matter what frequencies we do, there's always going to be somebody who's like, oh man, I got a local there, or I got a nearby station there, or whatever. Well, this is an opportunity with that many different frequencies spread out like they are to hopefully help you guys out. And I know folks like Justin was mentioning in the chat that his antenna works better on the higher end of the band than the lower of the band. Well, this will be a great one for you. So enjoy, my friends, the graveyarders. So here it is, the Medium Wave Frequency Challenge Graveyard Edition. It's up on the blog post here. Also on the website, while I'm here and kind of talking about it, we have our new online store, the DX Central DX Gear online store. So here are two samples of some of the things that we have, but if you click on those, it goes right to those pages for those particular products. But click on See All, takes you over here. You can shop here, and you can see all the really cool stuff that we have. We have mugs, we have hats, we have backpacks, we have t-shirts, and I'm going to be adding more and more and more and more stuff as we go along. I'm brainstorming some design ideas for the frequency challenge and some other things like that. So continue to look here and take a gander at our wares, as it were. But this gives you a chance to kind of proudly proclaim your AMDX hood if you're out and about, or if you're having a sip of coffee at home, or whatever it might be. So just go to the website, dxcentralonline.com, and then click on the link that says DX Central Gear, and that opens up this bad boy. Oops, this bad boy here to show you all the cool stuff that we have. Speaking of that Gravedigger shirt, so this is the actual shirt here, the front, and then the back has the logo. So it's a two-sided shirt, really, really nice. So whoever can hear the most graveyarders, You got a shot. I'll tell you, somebody that I think might have a really good shot are our folks over like Tom or Jeff over in Indiana. And let me show you what I mean by this, why I kind of feel this way. I saw this week. Is this it? Yeah. I saw this week in the Medium Wave DX Slack channel. You guys were talking about it. And that is the Central Indiana SDR, the Kiwi SDR. And let me just mute that real quick. This is one of the finest receivers on Kiwi SDR receivers that I have ever seen. I put a post about it up on our Twitter feed this week, so that we could kind of share the news about this. Look at, he's got a 170-foot tall in-fed 3-legged inverted V with two 225-foot counterpoise wires. And let me tell you something. This thing hears like you wouldn't believe. I posted the picture on Twitter this week. Daytime conditions, every single frequency had something. Every single, I'm expanded band, everywhere. This is like 11, 12 o'clock time of day, like right in the middle of the day. Every frequency had something. Now, this is winter, so that's a little more likely this time of the year than it might be in summer, but this is a very good set of ears on this station. So I highly recommend, if you're interested in hearing what DX sounds like from other parts of the world, go check out this Central Indiana SDR station. I'll show you how you find it. If you go to the main Kiwi SDR page, so it's just kiwisdr.com, and then go to the map. Scroll down here for your list of stations. Go to the map. It's the easiest way to kind of go about it. And then just kind of zoom on in here, and you'll see it. It's the only one here in Indiana. Edinburgh. That's where you're looking for, Edinburgh, Indiana. And you go there, and there it is. So highly recommend, if you're a fan of, like I am, and just DXing from other locations like that, and seeing what other people hear. There you go. It's also obviously helpful for hearing what they're hearing in that part of the country, if you think you might be hearing stations from that part of the country. And I'm talking daytime, they were hearing WSM. This was like seriously 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. WSM in Nashville, Tennessee. WHAS in Kentucky. KMOX in St. Louis. WLS in Chicago. The two Ohio stations, TAM and WLW was there. That's daytime. Just a huge circle of daytime coverage. So I have a feeling, I know, Barry, you've been kind of crushing it there out of Tennessee, and you've got a good station there, and you got a lot of stations around you. Because I remember when I was in Brasstown, we heard a lot of stations on the Graveyarders there in the mountains and whatnot. But I think Indiana is going to give you a run for your money on this one, my friend. So good luck to everybody, and hope you guys enjoy the challenge in these next couple of weeks. We'll be checking in on social media and whatnot, as we usually do from time to time, and I might even go live from a parade. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see. But we're going to spend some time DXing over the next couple of weeks, doing some Mardi Gras, having some fun with Mardi Gras, and seeing what might be lurking in the graveyard. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and start that process now. I'm going to go up to 1490. We're going to start on the high end here. Start on 1490 and just see what we've got. Right now, all my antennas are pointing south, so maybe Mexico, Cuba might be lurking here. We do have also, we're going to try it out today on our Air Spy as well for the same reason, because we have our Southwest CAS. So let's go ahead and point this one down to 1490. And we're just going to walk through these. I'm not going to do the whole thing we usually do with the antenna pattern maps, because there's no point. There's no need. I mean, you see what we've got here, right? I mean, it's just a lot of stations. So it's going to be sitting here and doing the due diligence of listening on these graveyard frequencies and trying to see what we kick up. I'll go over some pointers here in a bit about DXing graveyard frequencies and some tips and tricks that I've picked up over the years that can help maybe folks who might not be as familiar or as much time in the seat with graveyarders. Might be some tips that might help you out a little bit, because they can be challenging. I mean, it is the frequency challenge, by the way. So it's got to be a little tough, right? So let's go ahead and start on 1490 and see what we might have here. I do have a couple of nearby stations here. KJAIN as my usual on 1490 at Ahoma. And obviously every one of us are going to have a different look here because it's going to be usually pretty hyper localized to where you are. But every once in a while you get one of those ones where you're like, wait a minute, how am I hearing? I'll never forget the night I was sitting in Charleston hearing a graveyarder out of West Virginia. I was like, what? Right? You get those every once in a while. So let's take a look and see what we got. Oh, and let's go ahead and start sending over those shout outs now. So in the chat, let me know. What'd you hear? New logs, new states, new countries, anything special, anything cool, anything really, really groovy? Let me know in the chat. We'll get you written down here in the book, and we'll give some shout outs here in a bit. And we're going to catch back up to live. Oh yeah, I saw that, Tom. Sorry, man. It's all about your computer. Those are never fun. I'm scrolling back through the chat now, and looking at some of what you guys have been talking about. John, don't think I didn't think about trying to figure out a way to do a DXC shovel. I did, thought about it, and then I was like, let's do a t-shirt. All right, let me take a look here. So far, I've got in the notes here for a shout out. I've got Stephanie, I've got Sean, I've got David, I've got Bill, I've got Carl, I've got Dennis. If I didn't call your name and you have some shout outs you want to send over, by all means, let me know in the chat. I saw Rob's in here. Hey, Rob, it's been a while, my friend. And I saw you mention British Columbia, so we're going to get you in here as well, because that's a huge accomplishment from upstate South Carolina, my friend. So we're going to get you a big shout out here for that one. And if there's any other new ones you've had recently, let us know. I'd love to give you some more shout outs on those too. But yeah, if you haven't heard your name called, Stephanie, Sean, David, Bill, Carl, Dennis, and Rob. If you haven't heard your name called and you wanted to do a shout out for yourself, some new states, new countries, or just new logs, we'd love to give you a shout out. So send those over and we'll get you in here. Let's not hearing a whole lot. So let me do a couple of tips here real quick before we get too deep into this graveyard challenge. I did see Troy mention any tips for the graveyard challenged folks out there. Absolutely. So this is one of my favorite kinds of DX. I know a lot of folks are big fans of graveyard DXing as well, because you never know. You never know what you're going to hear. It might be the same old you hear every time. It might not be. And you can run up 10, 15, 20 stations on a single graveyard frequency with relative ease in most situations. So, number one tip I have for graveyard DXing is turn your RF gain down as low as you can get it and still hear something. If you cut it out until you hear any audio at all, you've gone too far. Back it back up just a little bit until you can basically... You can hear there's a murmur, but it's really, of all of the stations, but it's kind of low, and maybe you have one or two dominant stations. What you're trying to do is, A, reduce your ear fatigue, but also just reduce that gain enough to allow these dominant stations to rise to the top. If you are using an SDR or a radio that has binaural mode, I have found that works very, very well on graveyard frequencies. Binaural, for those who might not be familiar, throws your two sidebands, your lower sideband and your upper sideband, into individual ears on your headphones if you're using headphones or earbuds or whatever. So lower sideband will be on your left speaker or earphone. Upper sideband is on your right speaker or earphone. So it separates those out, those two sidebands. And the reason that's helpful is because sometimes on one sideband a station signal can be louder than on another sideband. So that's another tip. If you don't have access to binaural, that's okay. Just do swapping back and forth between lower and upper sidebands. Sometimes you might hear a signal louder on one than you hear it on the other. So reduce your RF gain or attenuate, use your attenuation, which is what I'm going to be doing here in a few moments, because right now my attenuation is only 6 dB. We're about to throw it to 18. I'm sorry, it's only 10 dB. We're going to throw it to 30. So we're going to use some attenuation here to lower our overall RF footprint to try to allow those stations to dominate, rise to the top and dominate. We're going to use lower and upper sideband on this one. We'll use binaural mode over on our AirSpy and SDR Sharp. And also try to lower your volume, your overall audio volume a little bit, because again, you're trying to reduce fatigue. It doesn't have to be super low. It needs to be where you can definitely hear these stations as they dominate and rise to the top, but you want it to just reduce that overall impact on your ears, because if you sit and listen to the rumble over and over and over for hours and hours and hours, it becomes extremely difficult to really pierce out anything that might be in there that's not dominant, but it's kind of those weak signals that kind of pop in there for a second, kind of in the pocket of the overall rumble. You just hear that real quick ID that comes in. Those are the ones that just, man, they pop in and out that you never even know they're there unless you're listening for them. And if your ears are fatigued, you're never going to really hear them very well. So lower your RF gain, lower your volume, use your sidebands, use your binaural modes. Those are very, very helpful, very good tips to use. Another thing that you can do is, obviously, if you have a loop, try different orientations. If you have a phaser, I am going to have to use my phaser this week to phase out a local I have on 1230. We have to be okay here in New Orleans, so I'm going to have to use my phaser to get rid of them. I'm also going to have to use a phaser to get rid of my local on 1350, WWWL, yeah, got all three in there. They're on 1350, wipes out 1340 pretty much, so I'm going to have to use some phasing to open up that frequency for myself. So yeah, I mean, those are some things that I think are going to be helpful. If you're not using an SDR or an external antenna, you're going to be using your like a small portable radio or something like that. Obviously, you want to be in as noise-free an environment as possible. The less noise you have, the more likely you are to have weaker signals be able to rise to the top. So get yourself out and about, in your car or on a walk or wherever you might be able to get away from noise. Bring your radio out and use that turning of your portable and the internal antenna to try to really null out pests or to try to see where those signals kind of peak at. So those are some tips. If you guys have some more in the chat, our masters of the graveyard, please share those as well in the chat and help our friends out here. Want to make sure everybody has a chance to really fill their logbooks up this week with as many graveyard stations as possible. This is going to be probably the last time we look at the graveyarders for this season. We did I think we did one or two earlier in the season, so it'll probably be our last look at the graveyarders, is my guess, unless something comes up, a reason for us to do that. But this will be our last, probably a good look at the graveyard stations for this season of DX Central Live. So definitely spend as much time in there as you can. Let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to do some more live DX, and we're going to see what we can do on these graveyard frequencies. We're going to also jump over the AirSpy and see what's going on over there. So this hour of live DX is brought to you by the good folks at the International Radio Club of America, ircaonline.org. That's where you go for more information about becoming a member. Speaking of graveyards and the clubs, by the way, the NRC does keep, Tim Hall keeps a list of the records for furthest reception for each graveyard station, right? So I would love to see some new records fall this next couple weeks between now and the 24th of February when we come back and we reconvene and we close out the challenge. I'd love to see some new records broken for some of those stations out there on the graveyard frequency. So let's do it. Let's see what we got, folks. More live DX on your way right after this.
DX Central, because we're all about radio. Visit us at dxcentralonline.com or check us out on YouTube. Search DX Central. DX Central Live is brought to you in part by...
From the pages of its DX Monitor member bulletin, members of the International Radio Club of America share their domestic and international AM/DX loggings. In its Mexican log, a wealth of information can be found of stations from south of the border. Technical guides, sunrise, sunset maps, and more make the IRCA a must-join for any AM/DXer. For more information, log on to ircaonline.org. That's ircaonline.org. While the HF bands can be filled with entertaining and intriguing transmissions, how do you know when and where to look? Let Teague Publishing's Global Radio Guide lead the way. In addition to its exhaustive list of time and frequency for international broadcasters, radio hobby icon Gail Van Horn brings you equipment reviews, an SDR buyer's guide, feature articles, and more. Pick up your copy today. Visit teaguepublishing.com for more information. That's teaguepublishing.com. Since 1933, the National Radio Club has been serving AM/DXers while providing some of the most in-depth information in the hobby. From the annual NRC AM log, a must-have reference for domestic station information, to antenna design reference manuals, and of course, the DX News member bulletin, which is filled with station information updates, domestic and international loggings, and a whole lot more. Become a member today. For more information, log on to nationalradioclub.org. That's nationalradioclub.org.
Through crashes of static in quiet hours, we listen. In languages we can scarcely understand, and of places we have only visited in our dreams, we listen. Incessantly, we perfect our array of aerials, receivers, and resources. We refine our skills and our techniques so that we might listen. We are DX Central, and we're all about radio. Visit us at dxcentralonline.com or check us out on YouTube. Search DX Central.
Keep up with DX Central. Follow us on Twitter at DX Central.
from the DX Central North Shore Studios, this is DXC Live. Now here's your host, Lloyd Van Horn.
From the North Shore Studios here in Mandeville, Louisiana, is DX Central Live every Friday night, except for the next 3 weeks. We're taking a little break the next 3 weeks for Mardi Gras. But other than that, starting February 24th, we'll be back on our regular schedule every Friday night at 6:45 Central, 0045 UTC time, with live DX tips, tricks, and just general merriment. We sit in the chat, we talk with each other, and we have a good time. So, beginning to a round of shout-outs here in just a few moments. So, that'll be our first round. Stephanie, Sean, David, Bill, Carl, Dennis, Rob, John, and Haley. Got you all in here for this first round. If I didn't call your name, no worries. We'll be circling back around here in the next hour for some more shout-outs here in a bit. I had this mental image in my mind, because usually what I usually do is whenever we wrap the stream up at the end of the night, you guys, I've seen a lot of times you guys like to continue to chat back and forth for a few minutes, which I'll just usually leave the stream up running for a while you guys do that. And I'm usually at that point putting out the word about the new frequency for the week, the new challenge, social media, the email reflector. So I'm kind of doing that while that's running in the background. But I had this mental image in my head. I don't know why, it was actually Justin, our friend Justin, UB Studios up in Minnesota, who has his own really, really awesome live stream, by the way. I think it's usually every other Saturday night here on YouTube. So make sure you're subscribing and following UB Studios as well as us. Hopefully you are. We'll talk about that here in a second. But I just had this mental image of Justin and some others after we make the announcement here on the live stream, running back out to social media. It's the Graveyarders. It's the kind of like, what's his name? From the Revolutionary War. The name just Paul Revere, right? The British are coming. The British are coming, which he actually didn't say, by the way. But I just had that kind of image. It's the Graveyarders! We're doing the Graveyarders this week. And everyone just starts tuning to the 1490s and the 1450s and stuff. So it just got me tickled there on the break. Speaking of subscribe, make sure that you do to the channel here. Subscribe and hit the bell icon so we notify when we post new videos. I'm working on a couple new ones right now for us. And I'm also now incorporating shorts into the to the channel, which is going to be more going to be like just little tips and tricks. I call it the D Extra, quick tips. So we'll be incorporating those into the channel. And then also make sure on this video here, if you like what you're seeing, make sure you hit the like button, leave us a comment, and let us know what you think as well. We really appreciate that. It does help us out, getting the word out, getting the channel some recognition on YouTube so they can keep sending people our way, and we can turn more and more people on to the wonders of AMDX. I'm trying to get all you guys are convinced, right? We want to get more. We're on Twitch right now. We're on Facebook right now, Twitter, and YouTube, all simultaneously. We're broadcasting on all 4 platforms. So I'm hoping we're reaching some folks that maybe aren't right now into AMDX. They haven't gotten into it yet. Maybe they're like, hey, what's this cool stuff they're talking about? Well, that's what we're trying to do, is turn people on to AMDX. So you liking and subscribing and commenting and doing all the interactions you guys do really does help us out, because it helps the algorithm, as you hear so many YouTubers talk about. It helps the algorithm so that YouTube and these other channels will maybe promote or recommend our videos to more people who have similar interests. We're almost to the top of the hour, and we're sitting on graveyard frequencies right now, my friends. So we're actually going to come over here, and I mentioned the attenuation piece, or reducing your RF gain or attenuating. So I'm going to go ahead and do my attenuator all the way down 30 dB here. I usually like to do 40 or 50 if I can, but 30 is as much as I can do on the Perseus. So we're going to let that sit and kind of cook here in the slow cooker now for the top of the hour. We'll come back to it after the top of the hour and see what we caught. But we're going to focus our attention right now on our live DX on our AirSpy HF Plus Discovery with our Northeast Southwest wire. So again, this hour of live DX brought to you by IRCA, International Radio Club of America. And so let's take a look here at our, we're on our Southwest CAS right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, on the AirSpy, what you have to do, we're in binaural mode right now. Where is my... We have to turn off your AGC in order to do attenuation. And then once you've turned off your AGC, your automatic gain control, then you can attenuate up to like 48 dB. So you can see how much I've attenuated, but you can still hear it. I'm gonna turn it back up a little bit to compensate. So let me show you the difference. So this is with attenuation, all full attenuation. This is no attenuation. You see how it's just more. Now I'm hearing some a little more distinct signals in here now. So we're gonna roll with this, and we've got binaural mode on, so we can have it in both left and right ears with our lower and upper sideband. We're in DSB mode, so that's good. Actually, I'm gonna go to AM and binaural. There we go. I like that. Now, if you have your earphones, your earbuds, your AirPods, whatever in right now, you should be able to hear it very distinctly. Hopefully, YouTube and the stream and restream doesn't ruin that, where you have it separated out like that, because it's really, in my ears right now, it sounds fantastic. The classic movie combo. Blazing Saddles, fantastic. Blues Brothers, The Jerk. Check out Used Cars, Kurt Russell. If mom or dad are still out there watching right now in the audience, chime in the chat. That's a Van Horn family tradition. Let's do it. Troy knows what I'm talking about. Great movies. Great movie. And I'll throw in an extra little plug here. If you ever have a chance to pick up the DVD of Used Cars, do so, because the director's commentary with Bob Zemeckis, the other Bob, I forget his last name, Gaylor, it starts with a G, and Kurt Russell. Those three do the director's commentary. Oh my god. It is hilarious in and of itself. It's the second best audio commentary track on a DVD I've ever heard, the best being Spinal Tap. That one is just, my god. Spinal Tap audio commentary. Let's go to 1450. All right, so we have a station in there that popped up with a auto dealer in Gadsden, ironically, which is just outside of Anniston, Alabama, and that would probably make that WD. I'm guessing here, WD&G out of Anniston, Alabama. I have heard them here before, so it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for them to come in. The ID is 95.1 The Mountain when they ID. Rick! Yes! With the Smokey and the Bandit reference. Just watched that one about a month ago. My wife and I watched it. It's a regular watch for us. Meatballs, Bill Murray is another regular. We quote that one constantly. I'm over here thinking of the great classic 80s hilarious movies. My all-time favorite movie of all time, for many different reasons, is Dazed and Confused, the Richard Linklater classic. The breakthrough for Matthew McConaughey. All right. All-time favorite movie, number one. On my desert island list, it's in there. Coming to America's in there. I like the funny movies. I'm not really big into serious like dramas and scary movies and things like that. Or every once in a while I get into it, but mostly I'm a funny movie kind of guy because I don't like to. The world's serious enough. I like to enjoy it and laugh. Let's go over here and look at the Perseus and see what we might have caught here at the top of the hour. We're going to come back to the Air Spy, but let's see if we have anything here from the top of the hour from the Jaguar. Perseus, rather. So now we're going to try it on lower sideband. See if it's any clearer. Recycle back on top of the air. Let me go back again. Okay, so I think that's D&G Anniston again. That was coming through. We were on the southeast wire here at top of the hour, so that would make sense that they would be kind of in that. They're not in the null; they're more on the side of that CAS. They're not on the back side of it, where we would expect them to not be there. Kind of off to the side where it's possible they could be, maybe reduced, but still in there. Let's go back now and look at, let's do 1400. That's a frequency I don't really do a whole lot with because I have a semi-local here in Hammond about 20 miles away. Let's take a look and see what we got here. Okay, I'm not. I think that country station there is my semi-local Hammond. Let's go down to 1340. Another quick tip that I thought of here is with the sheer volume of what we're looking at here, with the 6 different frequencies and just the amount of stations that are here. It's worth it to spend time just sitting and listening. Don't get antsy. Be patient. You might not hear anything for a little while, top of the hour, and then all of a sudden, about 15 minutes in, boom, there's an ID. And you just, whoa, and it's one you never heard before. We have basically 4 weeks. You have between now and the 3rd and the 10th, 10th and 17th, 17th, 24th. So about 4 weeks here to do the DX on these graveyarders. There are 6 different graveyard frequencies, so I would probably, if it was me, split them up 2 a week. Maybe do 1 frequency sunset one day, 1 frequency that day, a different frequency on sunrise, and then switch them the next day. And then, do some daytime on one or some nighttime on one, and then the next night swap it over to the other one. That kind of thing. Just rotating it through, really being super, super thorough, because every night's going to be different. And if you try to do it, get all of it at once, it's just going to be overwhelming. Kind of like what we're trying to do right now. It's just a lot. But if I sat here on 1450 over a sunset period into the evening and just kind of reviewed my recordings and really was methodical about it, I can squeeze some out pretty easily. So, or not easily, but I could definitely squeeze at least a couple out a night if I was really diligent with it. So that would be another recommendation, is just take your time, be patient. It's not going to be one of those things where, like, every time you sit to listen on a graveyard frequency, you hear a station, much less a new one. But if you're diligent and you're patient, you'll get some stuff. Let's look at 1340. Stripes is another classic in this house. In fact, in my neighborhood, when my wife and I go for our daily runs that we do, we have a walk run route that we do here in our neighborhood. One of the side streets here near our house, a neighbor has a van that looks exactly like the RV from Stripes, the assault vehicle or whatever they called it. Yeah, it looks just like it. And every time we go drive by there or do our run by there, I'm sitting there running, going dun 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 dun, and it gets in my head and it helps me run, which is nice. That and the boom shaka laka laka boom shaka laka laka boom shaka laka laka boom. Earl is to our live stream as Norm is to Cheers. He is our Normie. So, Earl, to catch you up, my friend, or anyone else that might have joined in, we're taking the next 3 weeks off here on the live stream for Mardi Gras, so we're not going to be here. We'll come back and return on the 24th, that first Friday after that Tuesday. We should be recovered by then. But we are going to be, over the next, it's 4 weeks now, we're going to be doing a graveyard challenge. Every graveyard frequency, 1230, 1240, 1340, 1400, 1450, and 1490. We're going to be just absolutely methodically going through these frequencies and trying to squeeze out as many stations as we can. And to whomever is able to log the most stations, you have a t-shirt waiting for you. So we showed that one earlier. It's a Gravedigger Champion 22 23 Gravedigger Champions. I'm gonna try to do this every year. We're gonna do a graveyard challenge every year. So whoever hears the most graveyard stations in total will receive the very, very sweet shirt. I don't need any more beads, man. I got boxes. When we go to the parades, I end up getting inundated with them. I guess the white hat stands out. And I just end up handing them off to the kids. I'm only there for the fun, for the music, and for doubloons. The little aluminum anodized, whatever, aluminum doubloons. That's what I'm there for. Maybe a cup. We have the plastic cups they throw. But I'm there for the little aluminum doubloons. I collect those. And plus the little sounds they make when they hit the pavement. Love it. So that's all I care about. As long as I get a couple of those at parade, a couple drinks in me, I'm good. All right, let's try this one at upper side. I can't do upper side, man, as you'll see. I'm gonna have to phase out 1350 to be able to do anything really on 1340. But I think I might have heard an ID there. Let's go back one more time and try it. Yeah, it's in there. It's just really weak. So, let's try 1240. I'm going to have to go upper sideband now because of our local station on 1230. Let's see what we had here. How smooth that one is. Rick, that's my weakness. I'm a rum guy, so hurricanes are my weakness. So we're gonna no comment that one. Isn't that just you know something just ID'd because you hear that ABC News sounder or CBS or whatever. That was, I guess, that was CBS, right? I always get those two confused. That's why I had to start the playlist on the YouTube channel for which ones have each one. I think that's that was CBS. You hear that sounder and you're like, oh, someone just did an ID, but you can't pull it out. Try it again. Okay, I think that's WGCM. Did y'all hear that? Let me try that one more time. That would be a new one for me. I haven't heard them. It's not exotic. It's Gulfport, which I can almost throw a rock at, but I have not heard them yet. So let's try that one more time. Okay, maybe not. Oh, no. I know who that is. That's the BCF in Florence. We're getting some good conditions on these channels tonight up into Alabama. They are News Talk. That's BCF. That's who that is. Yeah, BCF, that's who that is. They get out pretty well, actually, so I would not be surprised to see some of you folks up in that Indiana, Tennessee, Illinois, Missouri area have a shot at BCF. They get out very, very, very well. So, and then 1230 is our local. Let's see if we have any shot of anything else. I know we're not. But I will say this is my favorite radio station in all of New Orleans. Love these guys. I'm trying to avoid copyright hit.
This is a
From the campus of Xavier University. WBOK 1230 AM. Go. And Equity Media Station.
This is a rebroadcast on WBOK 1230 AM.
They do a really great job at serving the community. They're very involved in the community and community events and philanthropy and stuff like that. So they're just it's real radio. It's real community radio. They have live personalities throughout the entire day. Love that station, and the music is really great. Really, really good. So there's our first look around at the graveyard frequencies. Not a whole lot there yet, but again, patience and persistence. That's what's going to get you some stuff in the logbook this week. We're going to go back over to the Air Spy and see what we might have over here on the Southwest Wire. We'll also try out the W6LVP loops and see what we have over on the RSP-DX. We haven't looked at that one in a while, so we'll do some DXing there as well. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, some more great live DX heading your way, and some more... not yet. Some more comparisons of the chat room to Cheers. So, and more movie conversation, I'm sure. We'll have more DX for you right after this on DX Central Live.
DX Central, because we're all about radio. Visit us at dxcentralonline.com or check us out on YouTube. Search DX Central. DX Central Live is brought to you in part by...
From the pages of its DX Monitor member bulletin, members of the International Radio Club of America share their domestic and international AM/DX loggings. In its Mexican log, a wealth of information can be found of stations from south of the border. Technical guides, sunrise, sunset maps, and more make the IRCA a must-join for any AM/DXer. For more information, log on to ircaonline.org. That's ircaonline.org. While the HF bands can be filled with entertaining and intriguing transmissions, how do you know when and where to look? Let Teak Publishing's Global Radio Guide lead the way. In addition to its exhaustive list of time and frequency for international broadcasters, radio hobby icon Gail Van Horn brings you equipment reviews, an SDR buyer's guide, feature articles, and more. Pick up your copy today. Visit teakpublishing.com for more information. That's teakpublishing.com. Since 1933, the National Radio Club has been serving AM/DXers while providing some of the most in-depth information in the hobby. From the annual NRC AM log, a must-have reference for domestic station information, to antenna design reference manuals, and of course, the DX News member bulletin, which is filled with station information updates, domestic and international loggings, and a whole lot more. Become a member today. For more information, log on to nationalradioclub.org. That's nationalradioclub.org.
Through crashes of static in quiet hours, we listen. In languages we can scarcely understand, and of places we have only visited in our dreams, we listen. Incessantly, we perfect our array of aerials, receivers, and resources. We refine our skills and our techniques so that we might listen. We are DX Central, and we're all about radio. Visit us at dxcentralonline.com or check us out on YouTube. Search DX Central.
Keep up with DX Central. Follow us on Twitter at DX Central.
From the DX Central North Shore Studios, this is DXC Live. Now here's your host, Lloyd Van Horn.
It's DX Central Live here from the North Shore Studios in Mandeville, Louisiana. Good evening, my friends. We're happy to have you here with us and enjoying some live DX. We're hanging out on the crowded frequencies tonight, the graveyard frequencies for our graveyard edition of the Medium Wave Frequency Challenge, which runs between now and February the 24th. So you have plenty of time to get in here and log as many graveyard stations as you possibly can from your location. And be sure to submit your receptions on our Google form, which you can find on our blog post up at our website. We just posted up, dxcentralonline.com. You just saw that flash on screen. As always, make sure you, if you're not yet already a subscriber, I actually am pretty happy with not vast majority, but we have a larger percentage. Normally, I think it's 90% of people who watch YouTube videos don't subscribe to the channel that the video is on. We're way better than that. You guys are crazy awesome supporters of the channel. Not all of our viewers are subscribers, but a big chunk, a better percentage than 10%, I'll say that, of our viewership of our videos are subscribers. So thank you for that. If you're one of those who aren't yet subscribed, we'd love it if you did. Hit the bell icon, that we can be notified for our YouTube viewers. On our other platforms, on Twitch, make sure you're following us on Twitch, twitter.com/DXCentral if you're watching us on Twitter right now, or over on Facebook. Make sure you like our Facebook page as well. It's facebook.com/DXCentralOnline. Speaking of Twitter, let's go ahead and do our tweet of the week. This would be for, usually it's nominated by a DXer who will send me a tweet. They'll tag me in it at DX Central, and they'll tag it with the hashtag DXC tweet of the week. So it's anything that's AM or FM DX related, that's helpful or cool or interesting or whatever you think is just a really awesome tweet. Make sure you ship it our way, and we'll take a look at it. We'll choose the best one, and that's what we'll run with. And let's go ahead and take a look at this week's tweet of the week.
It's time for the DX Central Live hashtag tweet of the week. Tweet. Tweet, tweet.
Thanks, Earl. I appreciate you, man. And they're giving some publicity to slap the like button. I try not to, because, I know it's like a thing you're supposed to do when you're a YouTuber, right? You're supposed to go out there and remind people to do that. We do try to remind them about the subscription thing, but I don't know. I always like, you guys do it for me, so I just feel much better letting y'all do it for me. So thank you for that. I appreciate that, my friend. Our tweet of the week is from TV Radio 1972 at TV Radio 1972, recording of WKAQ in San Juan, Puerto Rico. This was their first DX catch of a AM station located in a U.S. territory, received Monday, January 23rd, 2023. And this is not an SDR capture, my friends. We're going old school portable radio. Let's take a look, listen, and see what they heard. So there you go. That's our tweet of the week, a reception of WKAQ in Puerto Rico using the Texan and one of these, the Turk Advantage loop. I've played with this a bit more since I did my little daytime adventure down at the Fontainebleau Park here locally. I love this thing. I mean, obviously, is it a replacement for an outdoor loop? No. Is it a replacement for my CAS antennas? No. But is it a really great thing to have on hand if you're going to be doing some portable DX out and about? You just want to be able to boost some signals and maybe get rid of some noise? Absolutely. So yeah, great little antenna there. And great reception for our friend TV Radio 1972, our DXC hashtag tweet of the week.
It's time for the DX Central Live hashtag tweet of the week. Tweet. Tweet, tweet.
All right, so there you go. Let's go ahead now and get ready for some shout-outs. Let's go ahead and get your party hats ready. Get your safety goggles on, because we're going to be sawing some logs. Sawdust will be everywhere here tonight, my friends. So for anyone who might be joining us for the first time, what we typically do here is in the chat, you let us know if you've heard a new AM radio or FM radio station in the past week, a new log, a new station. Or if you heard a station that was in a new state for you, you never heard that state before, or a new country, you never heard that country before. So new logs, new state, new countries. You let me know in the chat. I write it down in my little DX Central book, my DXC Live book here, and then I let everybody else in the chat or on the stream know. We get to high five each other, slap each other on the back, and say what a great job we did at getting new stuff in the logbook. I have nothing this week, so no shout outs for me this week. 100% you guys this week. So let's start with our first shout out I have. I'm just going to go in order. I usually try to do like whoever had like a lot at the end, but I'm just going to go ahead and do this in order as I wrote it down. So new one for Stephanie this week, KQRR in Oregon. New log for Stephanie this week. Congratulations, my friend Stephanie. All right, Sean, our friend Sean, has been giving that new W6 LVP loop of his a workout. Sean with 9 new ones this week, including a brand new station on 1120. The first time he's logged a station other than KMOX on 1120, at least from his current location, at least. He had a new one there on 1120, so 9 new ones, including his first non-KMOX on 1120. Congratulations, my friend. All right. Earl, if you have any shout-outs for yourself this week, let me know in the chat, man. I'll check it out here in a second. We'll get you in here, too. David's radio room got 4 new ones this week. Congratulations, David! Did you get a new state this week, Sean? I didn't see that in the chat. Let me know, man. We'll get you some fireworks if you did. We'll come back around to you if you did. Bill Curry got 5 new ones this week from his shack up in Michigan, giving that MLA 30 loop a workout. 5 new ones for Bill this week. Congratulations, my friend. Right, 7 new ones for Law, 7 new ones this week for Carl, rather. 2 of those on our frequency challenge frequencies of the week, which was the 1089 to 1143. So 2 new ones in that span, and 5 other new ones. So congratulations, Carl! Right. We've got rolling on. We got Dennis here with 2 new ones this week. Congratulations. 2 new ones making their way up to you in Virginia this week, my friend. Oh, man. I am going to come back to that one. We're going to do John, our friend up in Delaware. John with a new one this week. And it was a new Mexican log, his first new Mexican log in a while. So he got a new Mexican frequency new Mexican station this week. Congratulations, John. Oh man. We got Earl in here with 5 new ones. I saw you in the chat. We're gonna go ahead and get to you now. Earl got 5 new ones this week, including 2 at the exact same time. He got 2. Isn't that great when that happens? You hear that ID and you hear another ID and they're both new for you. Man, that's a damn near spiritual moment. So congratulations, Earl, on the 5 new ones for you, my friend. All right, Rob, I'm not sure if you're still in the chat, my friend, if you're still here with us this evening, but Rob got 3 new ones, and this one's huge. I don't have a Canadian province video. I probably should make one for new Canadian province. I'm going to do that. I'm already brainstorming in my mind some ideas of what I could do for that. But a new Canadian province for Rob, and this is quite the accomplishment from his location in the upstate of South Carolina, West Union, South Carolina, British Columbia. So, my friend, I'll do this again when I get the Canadian video put together, but in the meantime, you get the fireworks, man. My goodness. Freaking British Columbia, man. That's impressive as all get out. And let's see, you got Stephanie in there, got Sean, David, Bill, Carl, Dennis, Rob, John, and Earl. Haley, let's get to you here. And this, if you didn't hear your name called here in this first round, don't worry. We're going to do another round of shout-outs here a little bit later on, so I'll be calling for some more here in the chat a bit later on. Haley, 4 new ones. And 1 new state this week, 1 new state last week. Last week, the new state for Haley was KTNN out of Arizona, which, that's awesome. But we're not done. This week, and I am beyond jelly on this one. I'm practically jam. I'm so jelly. New state for Haley this week, South Dakota, plus, including 4 new ones, including South Dakota for a new state. Oh, wow. We're gonna let that one linger for a second, because that's one of my last remaining states that's not like Hawaii or Maine or Oregon, Washington, like the far out. Like, it's the last one that I would say is like achievable, right? On a semi reliable basis. South Dakota is the last state that I have left that I think is like not routinely, but relatively achievable here without being a DX test or just a quirk of nature. So congratulations, Haley, on 2 new states in the last 2 weeks and the new ones. Congratulations to everyone for your new logs last week. Hopefully this next couple of weeks on the Graveyarders will produce a whole lot for you as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing what everyone hears on the Graveyard frequency. So that being said, again, if you have any shout outs. Oh, did I just close that out? I did, didn't I? I did. I closed out the remote login to the laptop here. We're gonna get that back up and running. If you have any new logs, new states, new countries that you heard in the last week that you want to get a shout out included in here into the live stream, make sure you let us know in the chat. We'll be looking over there. Speaking of chat, you guys have been absolutely just blowing it up here in the Slack channel, the Medium Wave DX Slack channel. Now we added a bunch of new folks last week, which is awesome when we talked about this last week. And not only the AMDX, the Medium Wave DX channel, you're also over in the FMDX channel, talking FMDX as well. I know we're a little off-season-ish here before things really start ramping up, but we're already talking FMDX over here in the FMDX channel as well, talking about antennas and things like that. So if you have not yet done so, and you have not yet put yourself into the chat room, what this basically is a real-time chat. There's a lot of different places that we get information about openings or stations on late or stations that are doing different things, like if they're not switching to nighttime power, or if there's, it's a really good Latin night, whatever. There's a lot of places that we go. Slack, the reason I'm a big fan of this one, you can kind of go back in and see the history back to a certain point of everything that's been said recently, last day or two. I think it's several days, actually. And you can also get notifications. So it pops up. I have it on my phone. Pops up little notifications when there's stuff going on. And then I can, say, hey, wow, there's an opening going on. Let me go run to the shack real quick and go check it out. So I know Rick, I think you were handling, or some of you guys were handling, sending out invitations for those who were interested in joining the Slack channel. So if you're interested, let's hear about it in the chat. We'll get you in there, and all of us can share that information as we're doing our DX session. So when you're DXing, have that Slack channel pulled up on your computer, your tablet, your phone, whatever it might be, and you can share in real time what you're hearing. I've actually seen several DXers log new ones because of things they heard about and tips they heard about in the Slack channel. So I'm a big fan of that, and people being able to share that information in kind of real time right there. Let's go ahead and get back to some live DX here, because I told you guys we'll be doing more of that tonight, and I want to make sure we stick by that. So let's go over here and try our RSP DX. I haven't looked at that in the last couple of weeks. Let's go to the RSP DX, and let's move up here to, let's start in the 14s again. Let's start at 1490. We're on our twin W6LVP loops, running through an MFJ phaser. Let's see what we got here. Oh, and this one, I have the opportunity in SDR Uno to really pull down the gain. Let's play with this a bit and see where the sweet spot is. So did you notice that? Did you see how when it was too low, there were no signals, right? But then you get to a point where you're getting signals in. That's kind of the sweet spot that I'm talking about. And every radio and every SDR is different. Every SDR program is a little different. But this is a nice way to kind of visually see it on an SDR screen like this with the waterfall. So. And make sure we're in HDR mode. We are good. See if I can back this off a bit more. Too much. Okay. Right now, this is pointing 290 degrees. It's a little bit north of west. Nice rumble here, and by rumble I mean possible het off frequency. Let's do a little zoom in here. See how many carriers we've got. You can see that one right here, right? Off freak. Widen it out here and find it on our smaller spectrum here. Can't go too wide. Yeah! That's... sorry about that. That was the equivalent for your years of staring into a light bulb. So that's just below 1490. Let me see if I see it on my Jaguar display up here with the Perseus. Take care, Stephanie. Have fun. Enjoy dinner. If you send your email to me, I can get it to Rick. Just info@dxcentralonline.com. Shoot it to me and I'll get it to Rick, and we'll get you that invite. Laissez les bon temps rouler. We certainly will. There it is. 1489.86-ish. I've got an offset listing here for WSNT in Sandersville, Georgia at 1489.86. Oh, hell yeah. I've seen him play at the Maple Leaf over in Uptown. Uptown. So it's actually all of Rebirth, actually. Great show. They put on a great show. Alright, that signal's starting to fade on both the RSP-DX here and on my Perseus. But it was at 1489.86. I'm not sure if any of you guys are also seeing that carrier, especially our East Coast folks. Mark, I just saw your comment about SNT there. That's what I'm thinking as well, based on what I'm seeing on the Turtle database here in Jaguar. Let me see if anybody else is close to that on the list. Nothing I'm seeing being reported is close to that. Let me look. North and South America. Well, there's a 250 watt Brazilian at 1488.5. Have fun trying to get that one. Yeah, I don't see anything out of South America reported off that either. The only one I'm seeing, or at least reported, is the Georgian. $1490.051, huh? That'd be right about here. I've got one at 1490.02 on the Jaguar, on the Perseus. I've got another one here at 89.983, also on the Perseus. I'm not seeing the 051. If they're there, it's like mega weak. Oh yeah, it's there, it's super weak. But that's on the South Wire. listed for 051 or anything around that. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything reported, at least. Here's the chat. Looks like there's 56 people, members of the Medium Wave DX channel, so we're growing and growing. Take care, Danny. 73, my friend. Good, great DX for you. All right, let's do one more quick break, and when we come back, we'll get ready for another top of the hour period. Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, we'll do another top of the hour here and see what we have maybe here on the RSPDX on the loops coming in. I don't know if we'll be able to pull any audio out of this this offset here down below or not, but we'll give it a shot. We'll see. More DX Central Live coming up right after this. Don't go away.
DX Central, because we're all about radio. Visit us at dxcentralonline.com or check us out on YouTube. Search DX Central. DX Central Live is brought to you in part by...
From the pages of its DX Monitor member bulletin, members of the International Radio Club of America share their domestic and international AM/DX loggings. In its Mexican log, a wealth of information can be found of stations from south of the border. Technical guides, sunrise, sunset maps, and more make the IRCA a must-join for any AM/DXer. For more information, log on to ircaonline.org. That's ircaonline.org. While the HF bands can be filled with entertaining and intriguing transmissions, how do you know when and where to look? Let Teague Publishing's Global Radio Guide lead the way. In addition to its exhaustive list of time and frequency for international broadcasters, radio hobby icon Gail Van Horn brings you equipment reviews, an SDR buyer's guide, feature articles, and more. Pick up your copy today. Visit teaguepublishing.com for more information. That's teaguepublishing.com. Since 1933, the National Radio Club has been serving AM/DXers while providing some of the most in-depth information in the hobby. From the annual NRC AM log, a must-have reference for domestic station information, to antenna design reference manuals, and of course, the DX News Member Bulletin, which is filled with station information updates, domestic and international loggings, and a whole lot more. Become a member today. For more information, log on to nationalradioclub.org. That's nationalradioclub.org.
Through crashes of static in quiet hours, we listen. In languages we can scarcely understand, and of places we have only visited in our dreams, we listen. Incessantly, we perfect our array of aerials, receivers, and resources. We refine our skills and our techniques so that we might listen. We are DX Central, and we're all about radio. Visit us at dxcentralonline.com or check us out on YouTube. Search DX Central.
Keep up with DX Central. Follow us on Twitter at DX Central.
From the DX Central North Shore Studios, this is DXC Live. Now here's your host, Lloyd Van Horn.
It's DX Central Live from the North Shore Studios here in Mandeville, Louisiana, where we bring you live DX every week. Now, we will be taking the next 3 weeks off. We'll be returning on February 24th after we do a little bit of Mardi Gras celebration down here in the old southeastern Louisiana area. I did have a couple things I wanted to mention before we get back to the live DX and our next top of the hour alert. I did an article for the Spectrum Monitor. You guys know I kind of usually rotate about once a quarter. I'll do an AM or FM DX related article for the Spectrum Monitor magazine, which was the replacement for Monitoring Times, basically back when MT folded shop. So my article for the month of February is out now. You can get now. Obviously, the best deal is if you subscribe. You get a year for $24, so it's $2 an issue. But you can buy individual issues if you'd rather do that. You can do the February edition here for $3, and you'll see here the table of contents. And where is Lloyd? Where is Lloyd? Lloyd is right. Where'd he put me? Oh, there I am. This month I covered online resources. So, the Mesa Mic sites, some of the online SDRs. So different websites that I have found as online resources that are helpful for DXers. I'm working on a companion video to go along with this article that goes into a little more some other sites or some things that I've learned about since we did the article. So I see a lot of questions, a lot about, where you do your logging and where do you find your station list and things like that. So we break all that down in the article in this month's Spectrum Monitor, the SpectrumMonitor.com. That's where you can go to get your copy. While we're talking about publications, let's talk about really quick, a little off topic from AM and FM DX, but I know a lot of you guys also do other DX as well. Some of you do military communications, utilities, HF stuff. Pops just dropped this one this week. This is the brand new military call sign directory. And this is about a 7-year in the making publication. This is an absolutely enormous, unbelievably massive, exhaustive, and you're not going to find this information anywhere else, right? This is the most comprehensive list of call sign information for military communications, down to, he's been putting in like individual helicopters in for months and months. Every time I talk to him, it's like, I found more helicopters, Lloyd. The Army got more helicopters, so I got more call signs to put in. So if you are a monitor of the HF bands, if you like to know what's going on in the military communication world, and you frequent those frequencies, and you want to know who it is you're hearing, here you go. This is your call sign directory. Just go to Amazon.com. Right now, we're going to be putting on the Teak Publishing website a little bit later on. But go to Amazon, search for Larry Van Horn, and you'll find here the U.S. Military Call Sign Directory, $9.99 Kindle book. If you're going to buy it outright, you can also get, if you have Kindle Unlimited as well, for free. And you're not going to find a better source of information on military call signs than that publication right there. It's top of the hour time frame. Let's do it, my friends. All right, let's do this. Let's go back to the Air RSPDX now. And we'll come back and circle back around with the Perseus one more time after the top of the hour. But let's do this one here with the RSPDX and the twin loops. Take care, Sean. If anybody has any more shout-outs, new logs, new states, new countries, get them in the chat now. We'll do one more round. If we get anything in, we'll do one more round here after the top of the hour. Is anything dominating 1450 really quick? It's like 1400. pretty sure I know who that is. That would be WJAM in Selma. We've heard them here before in Alabama. 94.7 FM. That's a W234DM is their FM translator on 94.7, and then 1340. R&B and old school is their format, so we've heard them here. So that's another relog here for us here on 1340. Very nice to hear on the W6LVP loop. Not a lot of splatter from 1350, so that's fun. All right, so we've looked at most of our stuff here on the twin loops. I think we got some stuff we can work with there the next couple of weeks. Let's take a look now at our top of the hour recordings here on the Perseus with Jaguar and see what we had. Starting with, let's go back up to 1490 and see if there was anything coming up here at the top. Again, we're still 30 dB of attenuation here. At the lower sideband now. Nothing there. Let's go down to 1450. Okay. There's an ID in there. Let's see if maybe it's a little clear on upper sideband. If not, we'll go back and try that one more time. Nope, much better on lower sideband. See what I mean? Okay, one of those is WDNG in Gadsden. I did hear that in there, but there's a sports station in here as well that I'm not sure who it is. Okay, I got a 1029. Let's see what we got here. 1029. And sometimes this is what it takes. I've got that. No, it's not them. It's not Wisconsin. Not them. Oh, I bet you it's Pensacola. Oh, maybe. Well, that might be the sports station that I was hearing in there. There's also a 103.9 I've heard here. The Boot out of Brooksville, Florida, that plays country music, which I did hear in there. So, got a couple in here that I think we can look at this week. Let's try 1400 now, see if we had anything. Yeah, let me try lower sideband. Yeah, I think you might have as well, Barry. Hmm. 1340. Which I have to do lower sideband. And even then, getting some slop. Let's try one last one here. Let's try 1240 upper sideband. Sounds like there's a black gospel station in there. All right, so I think that's gonna wrap it up for tonight, guys. So we've got a lot of stuff we can DX here. over the next 3.5 weeks or whatever it is going to be here between now and the 24th of February when we reconvene here on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter on DX Central Live. Again, go to the website, dxcentralonline.com. I'm going to send out the post here on social media and the email reflectors here in a few moments. I'll put it in the Slack channel as well, that way everyone has the links they need. If you have a local, obviously you've got maybe at least four or five other frequencies you can try to take advantage of here. So hopefully this gets something for everybody. We'll see you guys again February 24th right here on DX Central Live. Take care, my friends. 73, best of DX, and good luck having fun in the graveyards, digging around in the graveyards down there. Hopefully it'll produce some good results for you all. Yeah, I think that's about it, right? Yeah. All right. You guys take care. Laissez le bon temps rouler. Happy Mardi Gras to you all, and we'll see you here February 24th. Take care.
This is DX Central Live.